All right, so today I'm just going to go over River, our services, what makes us different in this space, what we can do for you as a client. A little bit about myself. My name is Lindsay. I've been with River about 2 years now, so just hit my 2 years in February, which was very exciting. My Bitcoin journey started probably around 2015, 2016 in a way. I remember being at my grandmother's house. My cousin Jamie, we were sitting around the table and he's like, you guys need to buy Bitcoin, like buy it now. And we're all thinking, what? And mind you, he had just dropped out of Ohio State. So we're like, no, absolutely not. We're kicking ourselves now, but you can't do anything about it. So graduated from OSU a few years later with my education degree, but quickly decided classroom wasn't really for me. This is bringing back some memories here. Wasn't really a fan of the politics that were involved, so went into hospitality management at Cameron Mitchell Restaurants here in Columbus and worked for that company for about 4 or 5 years. Was then recruited by River for our mining sales team. Now, at the time, I didn't know a lot about Bitcoin in all honesty. I had dabbled in it, I was curious, but I was really focused on like, how can I make money quick? I think it was like during this COVID era where there was like Dogecoin and all this crazy stuff on Robinhood, but I didn't really understand its significance or its importance at the time. So when River hired me, you might say, well, why would they hire someone that didn't know much about Bitcoin or mining? Well, we were getting calls from clients who also didn't know a lot about Bitcoin and mining, but they wanted to learn and they were eager. So they wanted to hire someone that was, one, good with people, and two, who was also new to the space so that I could learn from the ground up and really communicate with them on their level. And this really worked to our benefit. It was very personal, we had great conversations, and we were really able to get people on board. So yeah, a little bit about me and my journey. River was founded about 5 years ago, so been in business and celebrated our birthday last week, or the week prior, I should say. Very exciting for us in the office. We had our management teams in. We're headquartered on the Commons. I know we've seen a lot of familiar faces tonight, so hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks when Shannon comes and brings everyone. We were previously in San Francisco. We do still have a small office there as well as in New York City, so slowly but surely expanding. And we're also venture backed. So we've raised over $50 million in funding, and our latest announcement was last May for our Series B for $35 million. So River's mission is to champion an honest and robust financial system by accelerating the adoption of Bitcoin, the world's only incorruptible digital currency. So how are we accelerating the adoption of Bitcoin? We're a Bitcoin-only company, hyper-focused on building products for the individual, the institutional, the everyday investor, and our goal is to truly make Bitcoin for everyone. In your River account, you can buy, sell, hold. You can send and receive. You can log in and with the click of a button at any time of the day, any day of the week, buy or sell your Bitcoin. You can set up a recurring buy order, which is a great way to dollar cost average, save on fees. You can do this on an hourly, which is pretty wild to me, daily, weekly, monthly basis. However you'd like the cadence to go, it will automatically execute for you. You can also set up a target price order. So if you have a price in mind, if you think it's gonna dip, if you think it's gonna pop, and you wanna buy or sell, you can set that and it will execute for you when that price hits. You don't have to hang out and watch the price anymore, right? I prefer to buy the dip, but we did see quite a few folks sell the top last week on River, but to each their own. On the send and receive side, you have the option to do on-chain or Lightning. Both are available in the user interface for you. We also have automatic withdrawals. So if you don't want to deal with the hassle of manually withdrawing every time you make a purchase, you can set a max threshold in your account and it will automatically kick it to your wallet, really simplifying self-custody. And my favorite and our most recent launch that we have is River Link. With River Link, you can send Bitcoin in a text, in an email, in a Facebook message. We make it very easy for you. So really, the receiver is going to receive a URL link, and all they have to do is click on this, and they can accept this to their own wallet. They can accept it to a River account. So it really makes Bitcoin accessible to anyone and everyone. I know Dom uses this with a lot of friends and family to Orange Pill, so I'll let him kind of touch on how he uses that as a tool in his everyday life.
Lindsay, before I talk about the link, not like I'm asking for myself,
Yeah.
Will there be a DCA by the minute, possibly? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
I would never
I wouldn't say it's off the table. We do some really wild launches. I don't know if you've seen like the Michael Saylor thing on Twitter, but you can have Michael Saylor pop up and tell you not to sell your Bitcoin. I think we did that in like 30 minutes. So I would say minutes aren't off the table, but I'll definitely put it in as feedback for our team.
For sure, yeah, on the links, I'm sure a lot of y'all have used the link. I love the link because it has, is it like a month that it doesn't expire
30
for?
days.
So I love the no pressure side of it, that you can text someone Bitcoin and it's there to say, hey, I want to teach you this thing, I'm just sending you this. You don't have to claim it, it'll go back into my account. Just think about it, it's there. You can claim it by setting up a River account. I think you can claim it into any
wallet.
Any wallet. So there's no real pressure, and I have a lot of fun with this. Like one of the guys made these T-shirts, and I bought one, but I knew he's against Bitcoin, and I said, hey man, I got you. And I sent him the link, and I said, he's like, oh no, I need cash. I was like, sorry dude, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Bitcoin is it's legal tender in my world, so this is for you. It was a joke, but it actually broke the ice, and that person now has their first Bitcoin from that conversation that flows. So it's good to just like keep it light, have fun. It's a text. There's no pressure, and that's why I love it, and I send it now like relentlessly. So it's a really cool tool.
So how do we stand out in the space? What makes us different from other brokerages and exchanges? We're US licensed and regulated. So we're operational in 48 states and Puerto Rico. You'll see that Nevada and New York are grayed out. We have submitted all of the relevant documentation, so hopefully we can serve those clients soon. We are federally regulated as a money services business by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Now with this, we are required to follow certain laws, such as regulation requirements. And then we also have state money transmitter licenses, which are very difficult to obtain. Now with these, we're required to undergo external audits of our financial statements and then share these with our regulators.
Excuse me. Does those requirements or audits require you to give out any specific information towards any sort of transactions or well, you said purchases, but I'm just making like any like extenuating circumstances like as far as like dollar or amounts or any specific thing that they may require from you?
Are you meaning from like our clients or from us as a company?
You as a company.
Yeah, so they're very in-depth audits that will go through our financial statements. They check on our reserves because in our terms of service, we state that we have 100% full reserve custody and that our client's Bitcoin is their Bitcoin. So this is captured in these audits. World-class security. So we do hold 100% reserves. We match our client's Bitcoin 1-to-1. We'll never borrow against or lend out. So even if every client on our platform wanted to withdraw on the same day, they absolutely could. Multi-sig cold storage. So we hold everything completely offline, and we geographically disperse our keys. So there are no single points of failure. Again, back to the regular audits, kind of hit on it, but these audits that we provide our regulators account for the 100% full reserve custody that we do have. And then we also undergo security penetration tests by outside firms, which is really just a big team of hackers trying to poke holes in our system just to make sure that we have the most secure platform for you all. And built from the ground up. So our cold storage infrastructure was actually built and designed by River. So we do not use any third parties, really mitigates that third party risk. And we don't have to worry about what is going on with our funds at another company. We have full insight into that. Account protections. So when you create your River account, you're required to have two-factor authentication. Basically what that means is you'll get a unique code to your phone, maybe your email, and every time you log in, you do have to enter this in order to gain access to your account. White glove service. This is my personal favorite, but I might be a little biased. Ben and myself are both relationship managers on the team. So we assist our clients one-on-one, whether you're a private client, whether you're an institutional client, or sometimes just the everyday investor. And we'll hop on Zoom calls with you. We'll hop on the phone. Sometimes I'm even on FaceTime with clients, guiding them through their account to link a bank account or send a wire, whatever it is. We'll be there to help you. Not only do you have relationship managers, but we also have client services. So we don't use AI bots. This is a live support team. They're available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You can live chat, email, call them, whatever you need. They're there for you as well. And as far as creating your account, you can open your account and begin purchasing within minutes. So very, very quick, and can onboard your business accounts in about 48 hours. Entity, so the entity will be like an LLC, maybe a corporation, a trust, a nonprofit, or a union. So you can actually hold Bitcoin on your balance sheet. So yes, a lot of folks are holding Bitcoin to fight against inflation of the US dollar, right? But what we saw last year, so if you remember the bank runs that happened, a lot of businesses were coming to us and holding maybe 1 to 2 payroll cycles on their balance sheet. Their thought was, if something happens to my bank and I can't access that cash, what do I do? Well, if it's held in Bitcoin and it's in River's, in your account on River's platform, you can actually just liquidate that and send that to any US bank. So that's another argument for holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet as well.
So could you back up to the screen that showed that? Okay, so set up an account in minutes or an entity within 48 hours. Are you talking about a personal account or an entity account?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so the personal account you can...
Setting up these LLCs.
We don't create the LLCs, correct.
It's an account for an individual or an account for an entity.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the answer to the question.
Perfect. Yeah, so we can, like I said, we can work with LLCs, corporations, trusts, whatever it may be. Even if you have a complex entity, sometimes, another business owns your business, or maybe there's a handful of people involved in a nonprofit, and sometimes it's pretty tedious to get everything together. Ben or myself will guide you through that process and make sure we get you onboarded as soon as possible.
So if you have an LLC and you already own Bitcoin, but you want to transfer Bitcoin, or it's a partnership and you own the Bitcoin, you want to transfer it over to your company after you onboard it, you can do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say you onboarded an LLC and you had Bitcoin on another exchange, but maybe you're not comfortable custodying there, and maybe you're not comfortable with self-custody. You can deposit that right into your River account. There's no fee to hold Bitcoin with River. It's just something we include. But by no means do you have to purchase or sell Bitcoin on our platform. You can use it as a custody solution too.
I was just gonna say, being part of an organization that's added Bitcoin to the balance sheet, I will tell you, it is really important when you get to that point. If you can imagine all the things, let's say you get your church on board or your union and you got it and you're there. Like sometimes if depending on the support, like things can go, you can have difficulty. We know how fragile it is, right? Because they may go, oh, we had an issue, we're out, we don't want to do this anymore, we're done. So the importance of working with companies that have worked with, like River, LLCs, nonprofits, it's really important because if it's a first time doing that, or there's not a lot of experience doing that or attention, it could wreck your efforts that you worked for months to make, just because of something like a simple oversight of, hey, we did this wrong. Because remember, these are folks that have doubt and skepticism on Bitcoin already, so all it takes is one little hiccup and they go, oh, I told you this whole thing's messed up. Meanwhile, it was just an accounting oversight. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin, so it's really important.
And to add to that, the question I have is, so with y'all being one-to-one in which y'all hold, are there like any fees or memberships, some type of any sort of hidden fees or anything that I should worry about?
No, that's a good question. So we only have fees on the buy and sell side. So even to create a business account or onboard your business, I should say, no fees to do that, just something we include with our services.
Same thing for personal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I thought that you didn't have fees for buying Bitcoin. We have
So on the recurring buy orders, those are the ones that just will automatically execute, whether it's like daily, weekly. The fees fall off after the first 7 days 7 days for those. It does drop to 0. But on the buy and sell side, so spot buys, if you just log in right now and you're like, I want to purchase $500 worth, there will be the fee on that.
So I have a monthly buy with River. So when you say my fees drop off at 7 days, what does that mean?
So if you have a daily order, right, the first 7 days would capture the fee. On the 8th day, that completely falls off and goes to 0. If you do a weekly or a longer cadence, yeah, so for monthly, the first 7 days, you have the first order, right? But once you hit that next month, it's surpassed the 7 days, and those fees fell off on your second month.
So I've been doing this for almost 2 years, so I haven't had fees since the first 7 days?
Exactly.
Okay. I thought so. Guys, if you don't have an account, or the minimum, I think, is $10, for crying out loud, this is no-brainer.
Yeah.
And have an account at River.
Yep.
Really, there's no fees. But Bitcoin, where are you gonna find that someplace else?
Yeah, pretty big incentive.
How does River work with miners that are sending the payouts directly to the River account?
Yeah, so typically what that looks like, and we work with a lot of mining companies in all honesty, they'll usually hold it under an LLC. So what they'll do is they'll onboard the LLC, and then maybe they're with, I don't know, Simple Mining. They'll direct those mining payouts to go directly to their River account, and then they can hold it there. A lot of clients who are mining typically liquidate some of that Bitcoin to cover their hosting costs. So they just liquidate it on our platform and send it to their bank account.
You just have to generate a receive address once, and then you can use it. It always will go to your River account.
Okay. So it doesn't matter if it's hourly or weekly or daily, because different miners pay out at different pools, have different intervals for
Right.
payouts.
Yeah, you can use, like Mimi mentioned, you can just generate that address, and you can use that one address to direct all of those payouts regardless of the cadence of them.
So even if it was every hour?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, does that mean you're making money off of every one that comes in, or just after the 7 days?
No. So if you're depositing Bitcoin, that's not a buy or sell, right? You're just transferring Bitcoin to your River account. We do not charge fees to transfer in or out. We only charge if you're purchasing or selling, but that's it.
But you'll help us minimize fees coming off that other platform. Like I have some Litecoin, it's on Exodus. I used to use Litecoin on Coinbase to buy Bitcoin. And so when I started realizing I'm not going to get rid of this anymore, that Litecoin is still there. So if I want to, like say Ben could help me, Ben's my agent, my guy. So if I come to you with my Litecoin, you'll help me get it into River, help me convert it, and you'll avoid the UTXOs.
yeah.
Or you'll let us know how that, because that scares me. I mean, that's why I'm depending on you guys to navigate me through there. I know you're not going to take fees, but that UX or UTXOs are kind of like a minefield.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, if you're doing it every hour and you're depositing every hour, if there's a way to avoid that and have all the Bitcoin sent at once, I would recommend that. But unless you can consolidate. Right.
Some of them are every hour, some of them
Yeah.
are every 2 days.
Yeah, I guess big answer, you can do it. Would we always recommend it? Kind of depends. But. So we always recommend self-custody, right? Not your keys, not your coin, but you can also build your legacy. So we recognize that one, not everyone is comfortable with self-custody. Maybe I had a call with someone recently who bought a Trezor and lost it before he even deposited his Bitcoin, which was a blessing in disguise, right? So he opted to hold his Bitcoin on River because he didn't trust himself. Or we have a lot of folks who are worried that their loved ones won't be able to access their Bitcoin if it's held in self-custody because they don't care, right? It's already difficult to orange pill our family and friends. It's even more difficult to teach them how to access Bitcoin when we're self-custodying. So what a lot of our clients are doing is holding some or all of their Bitcoin in their River account, and they're adding beneficiaries. Again, no charge for this either. You can do this within a few minutes. Just log into your app, add the beneficiary, and it'll ask for a few key details. This just ensures that if anything were to happen to you, we can smoothly transition those funds to your loved ones, maybe your trust, maybe an entity. Just depends on how you want to structure this, but you can personalize this as well.
Question. Is that a multi-sig option with this beneficiaries or no?
It's a good question. So we're fully custodial, so River holds the keys. Don was asking me today, do you think you'll ever offer some type of like multi-sig option where clients hold the keys? Never say never, but probably would be more of a long-term goal for us.
Is there an age requirement for the beneficiaries?
No age requirement, nope. So yeah, if you have children that are under 18, you are able to add them as a beneficiary, which is nice. Performance tracking. So we get a lot of praise from accountants regarding our monthly account statements that we provide to you. You can just log in and go to the statements tab and download these pretty quickly. They'll show, your Bitcoin balance, what you've withdrawn, what you've deposited, all of your gains and losses, realized, unrealized. We really break this down for you so that you can use this for tax purposes if needed. And then within your River account, you can also change your tax lot strategy to whatever feels best for you or whatever fits your needs. So first in, first out, highest in, first out, whatever you need, you can change this. And it's not a one-time thing. You can go in and adjust it as you'd like or whenever you'd like. Cool, so get in touch with us. You can visit us at River Business, or you can send us an email, or myself, Mimi, and Ben are here as well to answer any questions that you all might have.
Is this app-based, so can I download this from Google Play or Apple?
Yes, yeah, so we have an Android app as well as one for iOS.
From an institutional perspective, do you see River, with a 3-5 year plan, or somewhere on the roadmap looking into enabling payments for small businesses? So that's what we're looking for in our business, is to receive payments for products in Bitcoin, but to fully track it on the accounting side, right? And then being able to receive donations in SaaS and things of that nature. So I think that's kind of what we're looking for, other than just holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet.
So maybe looking more for an integration with your systems?
Maybe not necessarily an integration, but if River could perform that way and I could create items there and just say, here's a bag of coffee, here's a Lightning invoice.
Yeah, you do have Lightning built into your app. Obviously, it's a little tricky because you can only use the address once. But we are working currently. We've had a lot of interest for churches to onboard and accept donations, which is really fun. But we have been chatting about how do we make this easier for these type of entities that are accepting donations. From an accounting standpoint, right, we need to be able to identify that these are donations, especially for a nonprofit. So we are chatting about it. We don't have anything directly on the roadmap, but I'm sure in the future that would be something that we'd consider.
Okay. Do you guys have APIs?
Not currently.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Cool.
Do you deal with companies that offer self-directed IRA services?
So we don't establish self-directed IRAs, but we can onboard them. So if you had a Roth IRA LLC, we can onboard this and you can purchase Bitcoin under that account. Cool. Well, like I said, myself, Ben, Mimi are all here. If you have any questions, just let us know or get in touch with us online. Oh.